Hello. Purpose of this video is to explain you about Jlpt, Japanese language proficiency test. Uh, Before we explain about Jlpt, I would like to explain you about exactly what we do and how come we know so much about Jlpt. We have our Japanese classes in Dahanukar colony, Kothur, Pune in India. We have been conducting these classes for around 10 years now. 4 of these years we taught in Japan to kids, and then rest 6 years we have been teaching to Indian students in India. We have lived in Japan for more than 15 years. We have been teaching Japanese since the JLPT levels were called as Yonkyu, Sankyu and all that. Now the JLPT levels are from N5 to N1. N5 being the simplest or the basic, and N1 being the toughest. So the lower level is N5. That is most of the time the confusion is that N1 seems to be the simplest and N5 seems to be the hardest. Actually it is the other way around. So this test is conducted by Japan Foundation, and it has the purpose of this test is to ensure that foreigners who are living in Japan or outside Japan, they have a standardized criteria for judging at what level of Japanese they are. So that is the purpose of JLPT. It is conducted worldwide twice a year on first Sunday of July and December. So N5 to N1. N5 is very basic, N4 slightly harder than that but still basic. Then N3 is supposed to be intermediate one, and foundation for N2 and N1 levels. So N2 intermediate 2 and N1 is the advanced one. Now what is the purpose of each and every level from the point of view of the organization that is conducting these levels? We will try to explain in short. So N5 and N4 these cover the basic scripts, hiragana, katakana, kanji, and then it gives you a basic understanding so that you can survive in Japan. So for example, you can probably ask someone directions in Japan, give some directions to taxi driver, but it is at a very basic level. So N5, N4 they are at a very basic level. N3 is again a good jump. It covers more than 700 kanjis. Then also you will be able to understand most of the day-to-day expressions. In fact, you will be able to understand some of the current events and news that is happening around you. So this one N3 itself is like quite a good level. So if you tell someone that you are N3, then there is a very high chance that some of the companies in India, they will definitely entertain you, in the sense that they will respect you in terms of that you know Japanese. But N2 is again a different level altogether. It has got more than 1000 kanjis. But what happens is that if you say you are N2, then almost I would say 90% of the companies in India they would consider you to be knowing everything about Japanese language. They will definitely hire you if there is any requirement about Japanese. So N2 is really well respected. N3, yeah, it is acceptable in most of the companies, but N2 is definitely acceptable for like around 90% of the companies in India. Then N1, it more than 2300 kanjis. You will understand. This is the topmost level. Most of the companies, even in Japan actually, they don't expect you to be N1, but definitely they expect you to be N2. So this is very challenging level. Not everyone, even in India, the teachers are also most of the teachers they have not cleared N1. Luckily we have teachers who have completed N1. So that is what I would call as our USP as far as the Japanese classes are concerned. And the next thing about us is that we have actually lived in Japan. So there are lots of things that you get to know after living in Japan. So knowing Japanese by learning it in India, and knowing Japanese by learning it in Japan and interacting with Japanese people is a completely different ball game altogether. Even after N1, luckily the study doesn't end. There are so many things that you still need to know. You'll realize it once you start interacting with the native Japanese people. That what happens is that you think you are N1, but when you interact with them, you will figure out that there are so many things that you still don't know. So you need to keep on improving. You need to be in touch, because if you are out of touch with the language even for a month or two, you will start forgetting things. Japanese is a difficult language. Again, we are giving our contact details here. You will note down, please note down our contact information. Also on every page you'll see that we have given our profile. You can go to this link and see exactly like what our teachers have done. So thank you very much for patiently watching this video. Bye.